Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Headliners Hawaii.
So excited. I'm Dita Hollyfield.
And I'm Romeo Valentine, and today we have a very special guest. Can y'all give it up for Jayna Elise?
What's up? Hello, hello, hello.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that you are here so early. Thank you for that here at the historic Hawaii Theater. And you just did a 5-day run off bringing Broadway to Hawaii. Thank you so much. And the star of Tina the Musical.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm just really honored to be here.
Yeah, you look great this morning, and I'm listening to you talk vocally. I'm just mesmerized. Both Romeo and I had a great opportunity to see the show. But before we dive into what you did here in Hawaii and what you're doing currently, I'm just so mesmerized by the way that you got into your character. You've been singing since you were really little, yes?
Yeah, no, I've been singing for a really long time. I think I kind of grew up singing because I come from a family of singers. So like my mom sings, my grandma sings, my grandfather sings. Everyone plays an instrument. We're all just kind of like a very musical family. So yeah.
Who do you think sings the best out of all of them?
Oh, whoa. That's a tough question there. No, I mean, honestly, I think we all have just really amazing vocal qualities. We all sing so different, but so the same. So it's like, it's really weird. I grew up, I sang in actually a band with my grandfather.
Wow.
So yeah, I would say that he's probably got the most experience out of everybody.
Of
but
course. Is that where the musical background came from?
Yeah. So actually my grandparents, they met when they were in a band in high school. And yeah, then, you know, it just kind of never worked out for them with like the music thing. And so it's always just amazing because they're always, you know, like, oh my gosh, it's like great to see you like living on like the dream of like, you know, what we were doing. And so, yeah.
And so where did you grow up? Tell us about your background. So your grandparents were musically influential, but how did you just win, and how did you say, I'm doing this for a living?
Yeah, so I grew up, like I said, with my grandparents, and I grew up in Southeast DC. And I just remember like coming home and like for summer break, and it was like the only thing that was on the channel until 4 o'clock because my grandmother loved to watch Judge Judy. So,
Everybody's grandmother loved watching Judge Judy. It was that
like
time of the day.
show. Yeah, exactly. So, it was like until then, you know, she was like, oh, go outside or listen to music. And so the oldies channel would play on like the TV. And so I grew up listening to like The Temptations, and Diana Ross was like my very first favorite singer. And so that's kind of what I grew up like listening to and singing. And I think that just blossomed like my love for like the classics and just like timeless pieces like that. And then I was living with my grandparents because my mom was in the Army. And so
thank you for her service.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
When she was, you know, discharged from the Army, I moved in with her. And then she was like, huh, you kind of can sing. Like, you've got chops, kid. So
She kept it nonchalant, like, girl, you know,
exactly.
you aight,
She was like, you know, we should do something with this. And that's when I started my YouTube channel, and things kind of really
cool.
took off from there. But yeah.
Wow.
So when you were in high school and stuff, did you pursue, like, did you do traditional stuff, choir and all that kind of stuff? Or did you kind of stay a la carte and kind of kept it to yourself and working behind the scenes?
Yeah, so I think by the time I had reached high school, I had already done like a few different things in like the music industry.
Like get
by
a
that
golden
time.
buzzer, but you know.
Well, yeah.
Get a golden buzzer.
By that
Just a
time.
few things, like a golden buzzer from, you know.
And you were only 14.
Yeah. That was right before I went to high school, actually. So it was like such a big deal because it was kind of like when my mom used to get me into the school, she was like, yeah, she got the golden buzzer on America's Got Talent. You might want to let her into your school. But I went to Duke Ellington School of the Arts in DC.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I did do choir and the like, but it was still like a very, I don't know, it was a little bit of a culture shock for me because up until that point, I really hadn't had like lessons or anything of the sort. You know, it was like kind of just like my mom and Google and YouTube were like my teachers. And I went to this school and they were like, and now you're going to sing opera. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But, you know, I really learned to appreciate having that
Yeah.
background and that technique. And it's something that has helped me so much in like my latter career. And so shout out to Duke and, you know, the art schools.
Have you ever
arts
sang in like the
schools.
church? Because I mean,
Yeah.
the soul that comes through your voice, it's spiritual. I'd
Yeah.
say, you know.
Thanks.
Yeah, you took me to church at that show. I was like, wow, it was so great.
Yeah, I did grow up in singing in the church. Actually, that's kind of like one of my very first performances that I remember was singing for my family. Albeit, unfortunately, it was my great grandmother's funeral. But that was like one of my very first memories of being able to like sing like for my family and,
Wow.
What did you
and share
sing?
my gift. I sang "His Eyes on the Sparrow."
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and I just from then it was kind of like, you know, that was like my outlet, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then, so when you went from 14, what was that like, that very first opportunity, and how did you get there? Because the thing we love about Headliners Hawaii is
Yeah.
that a lot of people that watch us, they're trying to learn how to make it big and become headliners. So, what happened at 14? How did you get there, and what did you do after with that golden moment?
Yes, yeah. So even before, like, I think we say like content is king now in the age of like TikTok and things like that. But even before TikTok, there was YouTube. And for me, YouTube opened up so many doors. When I started my YouTube channel when I was like 9 or 10,
Wow.
I, you know, it was like starting from the ground up. And now, like, I have like over 100,000 subscribers and all of the things. And
Wow.
so,
Look at you.
you know, thank you.
Yeah,
But when I first started, it was like just kind of like, I don't know, singing for fun and setting up like a little camera and like having like a little backdrop and my mom like
Oh, that's
behind
so
the,
cute.
you know, behind the camera, like, okay, I'm about to press play on the song. And so, yeah, I really just started from like loving to do it. And then it kind of bloomed into something so crazy. And there were like casting directors reaching out and being like, hey, do you want to come star in this thing? And so that's actually how I got my first job working with Tyler Perry. I did a play with him called Tyler Perry, Medea's Neighbors from Hell. And the reason why I
That's
got that play,
crazy.
yeah, the reason why I got that play was because of my YouTube channel, and one of his casting directors saw, and they were like, yeah, come down to Atlanta and audition.
Holy smokes.
And so, yeah, I think I was around like 11 at that time, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Same thing with like Kidz Bop. I was a Kidz Bop kid.
Were you?
And yeah, I was.
What? Wait, which songs?
I was on albums 26 and 27.
Oh my gosh. Look at holy smokes. That's
So-
just so dope.
Yeah, and so you got all this experience from recording to TV. What were you in? I mean, when you're younger, you're either going to be the super intimidated or you're so green, you're not intimidated at all. Which were you with Tyler Perry?
I was definitely super green, okay? I honestly, it's one of like the best and worst experiences of my life because I was just like, I was a funny kid, but I was like so annoying. Like I didn't know when to shut up, you know? So it was always like, I was just always talking, and like, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised he hasn't called me back. I will be honest. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, it was just, I was so green. It was almost like I was not ready for like something like that. I was just a kid that did YouTube videos. Like I just wanted to sing. But you know, we live and we learn, and I definitely learned from that. I think Kidz Bop was the thing that really taught me kind of like, okay, this is the business and this is the industry. Because, you know, we were kids, but we were recording, we were filming commercials, we were, you know, going on the radio and doing interviews, and we had media training and like all of the like. I mean, we were on tour basically, and so. That was definitely when I was like, oh wow, this is how it works.
Wow.
So
And did you enjoy the business piece of it? I mean, did you embrace it and say, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, I definitely think that having that experience with Kidz Bop, I learned so much. And I definitely took that with me because, now I do pretty much all of my business myself. And I
Oh,
have
good.
been doing that since I was 15. So
Wow.
definitely taught me a lot.
So I feel like YouTube, you're saying, for these people who are trying to come up, can be your hidden audition that you don't even know you're auditioning for.
Yes,
Mm.
that is the thing, like my mom used to have a saying. She was like, you never know who's watching. And
Yeah.
that's like I live my life by that, and it's like when you're putting yourself out there on like these on TikTok or on Instagram or YouTube, yeah, you're putting yourself out there for like the general public, but also who cares at some point if you're not getting like the views or the likes. You literally never know who is looking at you and being like, oh my gosh, you could be in my next music video, or I want you to be in my next song,
Yeah.
or I want you to be in my next musical. Like,
Yeah.
so these are, I really do say all the time, content is king. If you really want people to see what you're doing, if you want people to hear what you're doing, put it out there. Just
Wow.
put it out there.
That's such great advice.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially I guess a lot of people feel like, oh, I needed to be at this place. I need
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
this.
Nobody cares.
And it's like you just told us about how you were, mom was behind the we
Yes,
about to
literally.
push play.
And honestly, I think people love that more. Like they love the authenticity and just like the journey of things,
Yeah.
versus like this polished like thing that like, especially if they've never seen you before, I think that's why people love Doechii so much. Is because she literally like documented her entire like rise to where she is now.
Crushing.
And exactly. And it's like
crushing it.
people can go back and see that and see her dedication, and they can fall in love with her more aside from just the music and be like, wow, she's been at this and she's been chasing this and she's been, steadfast in it. And we are able to see her entire journey online.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So what kind of music do you like just when you're not working and when you're not, you're training for your opera and your vocals and stuff? Like you talked about your classics, but like
laughed.
just
Yeah.
today I found out you went to Boots and Beers.
Yeah.
You had your
Yeah.
cowboy boots on. I was like, whoop, whoop. Like what kind of music do you just love yourself?
Yeah. I really love heavy metal.
What?
Oh,
Like, wait, what is heavy metal?
okay, did not see that coming.
Enlighten.
I
Like-
didn't think you did. Yeah.
No way.
New metal, death metal. One of
my
my favorite
God.
bands is Gojira. I love Slipknot.
I don't know who Slipknot is.
I
Yeah.
don't.
You don't know Slipknot? They're like one of the
You don't know
biggest.
Slipknot?
Okay,
They're like
well,
one of the
yeah.
biggest.
Yeah, Drowning Pool, Actually, it's one of the very first times that I was introduced to heavy metal was when I moved in with my mom. And like I said, she had just been discharged from the army, and she was recounting when they were in PT and they were running at like 5 a.m. And she was like, oh, you want to hear the song that we would run to? And it was Bodies by Drowning Pool, that let the bodies hit the floor. Yeah, that one.
Hit the floor.
Exactly.
How do I know this?
That's a good one. That's a good one to wake up to.
And then I remember I was 9 years old hearing that, and I was like, wow, this is like what I needed in my life. This is what I've been waiting to hear
Wow.
all these years. And ever since then, I
Wow.
literally fell in love with heavy metal, and that's what I like to listen to.
I would never. I was thinking like R&B.
Right. No, exactly.
You
Yeah.
know,
Which
some
is like,
pop.
which is why doing this role, being in Tina specifically,
Yeah.
it's been really amazing because, Tina Turner she's an icon in rock and roll.
Yeah,
And
she's a rock singer.
that's something that like I've always gravitated towards. Like I feel like even in like my own music that I release whenever I release it.
I thought we were going to get breaking
will
news
be-
right now. Come on.
will be, very not like super rock, but it'll definitely have that rock influence. So
I think that's a great strategy marketing wise for you because there's really not anybody like you in that space. And as an artist, you're always
Yeah.
looking for that edge in that moment.
Right.
What can you find for yourself to get in?
Yeah.
And I think that's a brilliant move from
Definitely.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Well, be on the lookout.
You know
We're
what it
gonna
reminded me-
be bragging that we're hanging out with you. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
I think too that like, okay, so you went from America's Got Talent, then you went to American Idol, and that was recent.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So it's really funny because
Were you Ian Tongi's year?
I did get to meet Ian Tongi.
Okay, got it.
But I
Year
wasn't.
after.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
I did America's Got Talent when
Yeah.
I was 14
And got a golden buzzer.
and got a golden buzzer by Louis Tomlinson from One Direction.
Yes.
It was definitely one of the best days of my life, for sure. I honestly don't know like what will actually be able to top it. Like it's been pretty crazy. But so yeah, I was on America's Got Talent. What a lot of people don't know is that America's Got Talent and American Idol are run by the same production company. So the people that work for America's Got Talent, they can choose to work for American Idol or vice versa.
Oh.
So when I auditioned for American Idol, it was actually the same casting director that casted me for America's Got Talent
Wow.
6 years later.
Wow.
And so, it was insane, honestly, to see just like everybody that I had seen when I was 14 now as like a 21, 22-year-old. And so I had auditioned for American Idol season 21. But I didn't make it to the top 24, and that was the year that Ian Tongi, was on.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm really grateful that I didn't make it to the top 24 because I just really have to give Ian his flowers. Like, there's just something so magnetic about him.
Yes.
And we really felt it that year.
Wow.
Like, this is Hollywood Week, like before his audition had even aired,
Yeah.
before we'd seen anything.
Yeah.
And we were just like, yeah, this kid's gonna win. Like, we all don't stand a
Wow.
chance, but we all want him to win.
Yeah.
So, like, we're kind of okay with it.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, everyone loved him. He
Yeah.
was just so fun to be around. He was just amazing. And yeah, we all called it, and we were so happy
Wow.
when he won. But I'm really glad that I was not in the top 24 that year. 'Cause,
Wait,
whew,
Ian, right?
whew. But no, so yeah, that happened to me on Idol. And then the next year, I was like, Peter, his name is Peter, was the casting director. He came back and he was like, hey, we really think you should come back. We really think you'd have a better shot this year. You've grown, and we want you back. I was like, no. I'm never going to do this again. I was like, I'm done on reality shows. Don't ask me to go on another one.
And why though? Why were you done?
I think I was done because it's so like anxiety inducing
That's what I was.
I
being
can't
on-
imagine.
like shows like that. It's like
Everybody's judging.
judging
Every
It's
moment.
like, how do you, I like to say that I'm really pretty subjective when it comes to my own viewing of art. And I can really like find like the good in like
Yeah.
every kind of art. I'm like, oh, wow, that was really expressive, but I think,
Like the
I
metal. The
think-
metal is so expressive.
Not the front or the end, but the middle.
I
Got it.
found the expressive in metal music.
but it's just something about like, especially when it's like, there are many people now that go on those shows, and it's like, it's kind of like their livelihood. Like they are pursuing music. They are musicians. They are artists.
Yeah, they're
And-
already.
exactly. And it's like, oh my gosh, I hate when I see people go on those shows and then like they bank their entire careers or their personality. It can be really, really crushing if you're not like, if you don't have like a good mental space about where you are
Yeah.
in your career.
Yeah.
And so, but then there is the other side where it's like, when you do make it and you do get into the top 24 and, everything's like, then you're singing with Seal for the finale. And it's like things like that,
That was dope. Like,
So
what?
it can go either
Oh
way.
my
that.
God.
But yeah,
That's my dude.
that was my try again with American Idol. And I'm glad I did it again, to have that
Which one of
experience.
the judges did you resonate the most with?
Lionel.
Oh, right.
is, He is
Ah.
literally America's sweetheart.
Wow.
What a legend.
Yeah, I mean, he just had such good advice for us. I literally like remember like the night that I got kicked off. There was like a viewing for like the top 10 and everything, and he'd invited me and like the other contestant, his name is Roman Collins, that I got kicked off, and he was like, "Yeah, no, come over into my section, and we'll talk." And we like sat and talked with him for like 2
Oh.
hours, and
God,
yeah,
priceless.
it was
That's so
amazing.
cool.
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
That
That's
is
so cool.
awesome.
So, you know, actually, the last time I want to say you were on a stage in Hawaii, you were performing at the Aulani, right?
Yeah,
For American Idol.
Yes, I
Yeah.
had just gotten over the flu.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Again, tell us how that works. Like, you know, the show must go on, right?
Yes.
Like, how do you power through those kind of, you know, regular life things, but you're a singer and expected to get it done?
Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna be serious for like a little second. It's really hard for me to do.
Yeah.
But
Same here.
so a lot of people don't necessarily know this, but that week before Aulani, I was actually thinking of dropping out of the competition
Wow.
What?
because I found out my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh my gosh.
And so there
Ugh.
was like a lot of things happening. We didn't know how far along she was. We didn't really know like worst case scenario, it was like she was stage 4, you know, obviously, and that's never good. But you know, once I had like a better handle on that, I was like, oh, okay, you know, it was stage 3B. It was still a rare and aggressive form of cancer, something called TNBC, which there's not a lot of testing surrounding it, and it, you know, it has to have harsher chemo and harsher treatment to kind of control. So we were just kind of going back and forth with like, well, you know, who's gonna be here with her to take her to her treatments? Because my mom came out to California for me to help me pursue my dream, and I was like, you know, it didn't feel right to just like bail, obviously. But thank God my aunt was able to come down and, you know, fill in and as her caretaker. So that week before Aulani, my aunt left. And so I was like taking my mom to all her appointments. I was also moving out. I was like moving into like a new apartment.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was just like all the things were, and then I had to get ready for Aulani. And then my body, I think, was like, girl, what are you doing? We need to process this information. And my immune system was down, and lo and behold, the flu got into me.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I make it to Hawaii, and I'm like really not feeling great once I step off the plane. They put me in my own hotel, and they're like, yeah, she's got the flu. So everybody's like all frolicking on the beach and doing all the things, and I'm in my bed like,
Got the flu.
yeah.
Worried about your
Like
mom.
with literally like
traveling.
with grape juice and like all the throat coat and all the teas and everything. So I was bedridden for like 2 days, and then they were like, hey, like you have to film today. Like your performance is like literally today.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, all right, well, I guess I gotta, you know, get up and do this. And so yeah, it was just like, I will say though, what I learned from this was that grape juice is my best friend. And I will swear by
Note
grape
to
juice.
self,
I
we're
will
giving
swear
tips.
by grape juice. Okay, if you're a singer, grape juice, pineapple juice, anything with like a base of like acidity, it's like really helpful to the vocal cords. And so yeah, that's what got me through that
Wow.
Aulani performance.
And what did you sing?
I sang Confident by Demi Lovato.
Oh.
Hey, what's wrong with me? And what's wrong with me? That's what I sang.
That is all. And
So,
did
yeah.
you kill it?
I think so. I mean, she
Awesome.
reposted it, so. Hey, she did. I love her. Demi, if you're watching, I love you. But yeah.
Oh my
I think that's something that a lot of people don't see when it comes to somebody who's on the spotlight on the stage, is that you go through things, but when you got on stage, you gotta like turn something on to, and that's like, you know, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like I think a lot of people don't realize how hard that can be. Is like, you know, everybody's dealing with certain things outside of this spotlight. And then when you get on the spotlight, you gotta like perform for all these people. And it's like, And then you get off stage and you're back to
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's actually like such a, to me, it's like one of the blessings of performing, just being able to like fully immerse yourself in the performance and like not have to worry about like, it's like for 2.5 hours or however long, you can just be and share energy with like people that you've never even met before. And I think that's the blessing of it is like, hey, right now, the only thing that matters is this art and this space that we're sharing.
Yeah. So
I'm hungry, Romeo. Really hungry.
I know a spot.
Really?
A really good spot.
Okay.
I could taste it at the tip of my tongue.
What kind of food is it?
Domino's.
Oh,
Everybody loves Domino's.
I love Domino's. Carry out, take out, you name it. Delivery. I love
Yeah.
pizza.
And I order it from the app straight up.
Ooh.
It's easy. I'm like, I'm futuristic.
I don't have an app, but I need one really badly.
Go online, Domino's.com.
Domino's.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to download it. Let's go get some pizza.
I'm ready. I'm gonna get a pizza and a sub. And oh my gosh, no, I'm gonna order this thing. It's like this bread, and you dip it, and it's so good. Super.
All right, let's
Fine.
go.
Let's go. So who is your artist that you would love to be like, I want to get in the studio with this guy or girl? Who is that person?
Okay, so the first two people that came to mind were her. I love her. She is, yeah.
She played the
she's
guitar.
so amazing. And then I would have to say Tyler, the Creator.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. I love Tyler, the
Yeah.
Creator. I think, I think he's another person that is so great at recognizing that content is king and like
yeah.
between his music videos and like, I mean, his branding and like the photo shoots and just like everything is just like always so clean. He has always such a clean vision. And like, I love watching interviews of him because he's like, yeah, I do it all. I want to be in everything. I want to be in the fashion. I want to be in behind the camera. I want to be, rapping, but I want to be the producer. Oh,
You're
well,
like styling.
you.
I love what you're wearing today.
Thank you
I
so
love
much.
it.
Swag.
But yeah, I would say I love him and just his approach to art. And yeah.
That makes sense.
Do
That makes
you
sense.
now that we're pivoting to Tina, because both Romy and I went to see you sing.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
first of all, I cannot get over how spot on you were. I'm fascinated. I want our subscribers to like tell us how to become Tina Turner. Like your mannerisms, the way you presented on stage, your
Yeah.
vocal, your speaking, not just your singing, which was mind blowing, but tell us about the journey. How'd you get the call for the opportunity?
Yeah, so that's another thing that those like reality shows are really good for. I think it's a crazy story. I had just finished American Idol. Everyone's always like, oh, what do we do after American Idol? Because you were just on American Idol. So
Right.
it's like, you got to do something. And I just remember looking through my inbox one day and I saw an email. I'll never forget his name, Nathaniel Riccio. Thank you very much. He had emailed me and he was like, hey, do you want to submit for Tina Turner? And I was like, well, why not?
That is
So
crazy.
I literally
That's dope.
just sent in, my songs and everything. And I literally remember it happened all so fast. It was like a Saturday. And then like I think that Monday they were like, hey, so can you do a Zoom meeting like tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, sure. They were like, okay, prepare the rest of the materials. And I was like, the rest of the materials? There's like 4 songs in there. So I do the rest of the materials. I get on the Zoom,
What were the 4 songs?
It was River Deep Mountain High, Private Dancer, I think I Don't Want to Fight No More, and oh gosh, We Don't Need Another Hero.
Oh, you
So-
slay that.
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. So, but yeah, I get on the Zoom and like everyone's on the Zoom, like the director, the music supervisor, the choreographer. And so I go through the monologue, all the things, the songs. And then they're like, okay, all right, well, we'll be in touch. And then I was like, okay,
Crickets.
right?
Crickets.
And then like maybe 2 hours later, they're like, Well, I just wanted to talk to you. So just here's a little bit about the tour. And I was like, I got it. I had to have gotten it.
Oh my
Wow.
And
God.
so it was a crazy like 24 hours. And then, yeah, I was like, they were like, the job is yours if you want it. And I was like, if I want it, of course I want it. It's Tina freaking Turner.
Yeah.
And
You just did Tina when you just did that, by the way. Did you not hear that?
My
I'm like,
friends-
okay.
my friends say that like it comes out every
Yeah.
now and again when I'm just talking. But I honestly think I've kind of always talked like this. And like maybe it's just been like I've been drawing on Tina like my whole life.
That's so funny.
But so to that point, what I called my mom, obviously, the first person that I called, and she was like, "Well, you need to come over right now. We need to, study. We need to do Tina boot camp." So before I actually did the boot camp in New York, I did boot camp with
oh,
my
there's
mom.
really a boot camp.
Yeah, there was a
Wow.
Tina boot camp in New York, and but I went to Tina boot camp at Tisha's house first. So, and my mom was like, "Look!" She's just like pointing, and my mom loves the arts. She's such a creative person, and so we were just watching, old videos, interviews, all of the things, and just fully immersing myself in everything Tina Turner. I read the book, her autobiography. I was just studying even like Ike's interviews, like just fully immersing myself into that world. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure still to this day how I get into it, but I think it comes out. And so
Yeah, you ooze it. So I was mesmerized. So you're here
Yeah.
for 5 days, and that vocal range of Tina's, and I think you maybe have even a bigger and a larger range. But
Right.
there's all the low notes, and her
Yes.
speaking voice is lower,
Yeah.
and then boom, you're just hitting notes. Like we're just watching you vocally start to do your
Yeah.
gymnastics. Like how long and how did you learn to take that as a talent?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think it's something that is like, this tour specifically has taught me so much about my voice because, I feel like it's one thing to have like that musical theater approach to this. And that's what I always say about this show in particular is that like it's musical theater, but it's still Tina Turner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we approach it in that way. And so I kind of had to learn really early on, like, because at one point I was like really shooting for the rafters. I was just going there all the time, just singing up in heaven knows where for God knows why. And
You are singing up
And I
there.
was
There is no
like,
doubt.
And
all
God
right,
does
wait,
know
girl,
why.
we got to peel it back. We got to peel it back. And so I think it's one of those things where you just kind of really learn like what you can do with your voice, but also like just because you can doesn't mean you should, you know? And I think this show is, it's even less about like the vocal gymnastics of it all and more about like the spirit of Tina.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, because in those earlier songs, she's like screaming, she's like
Yes.
squelching that. I can't do that every night, but I can give it like my own spin. And so that's definitely one of the things that I've definitely learned.
Then the next thing is like just the physical demands, never mind the sets and the costume changes and all that, but your incredible dancing skills and the energy
Thank
that you put
you.
behind it. And then you're carrying this incredible story on your back and your vocals. Please, how do you get ready for that?
Yeah.
Well, your physical
Yes.
stuff, your
Yeah.
dancing.
Thank you. Because, when I started this, I hadn't danced for like a few years. All right. I was
Wow.
in LA sitting like this in somebody's studio writing songs. Okay. I was not dancing. And so that was one of the other things that I did when I got this call. I was like, well, there was a 24-hour fitness 5 minutes down the road from my apartment. I called and got my membership. I was like,
Yeah.
I need to be in someone's gym right now.
Yeah.
Because it's such a physically demanding show. And I mean, even when we were doing like the rehearsals and everything, I would literally stay after 2 or 3 hours, after everyone left, after our already 8-hour day, and just like drill the dance moves. Because honestly, when I got there, I just felt like a fish out of water at this boot camp, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Because I mean, these were I wouldn't have classified myself as a dancer or an actor. I was a singer, like
Yeah.
I've always just been like, hey, I'm the singer, I'm the songwriter, I'm the singer, I'm the songwriter. And now I was in this whole world, and I mean, like, these girls, I walked in with my little sweatpants on, and I mean, these girls were in like bodysuits and like, the whole musical theater gamut.
Yeah.
I was like, where am I? This is New York City. Like, this is
Yeah.
real. And so I was like, okay, if, there's a reason why you're here. So, put your big girl panties on and do it. And so yeah, I really, really, really like trained and really like took the time to like try to get, the things right. And I really appreciate you saying that I can move, because, well, that means I did do
Oh,
something
yeah.
right.
And then what was the hardest part of all the disciplines to step on Broadway? Was it your
Yes.
singing? Was it the dancing? Was it the memorization of the show?
Oh my gosh, definitely. I think the memory things. Like, because, I can memorize a song easy. Memorizing lines,
It's a different
memorizing
vibe,
a
right?
dance,
Yeah.
guys, that is like
This is
so
so
different.
crazy.
it
It is
is.
so different. I'm like up there like, hey, I had to tell our choreographer, I was like, you can move on. You can teach the rest of the dance. I'll get it tomorrow. I promise. I promise I'll have it tomorrow. Because I'm like, I'm just, fumbling over myself. I'm like, have 2 left feet and like this,
You do
like,
not have 2 left
in
feet.
this
Not
theater.
even.
But not anymore. But at the time. And so, yeah, it was definitely the memorization was the hardest thing for me. I had to drill, 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 drill. But, and I'm also so grateful to the cast and everything, because I would call like, I was the rehearsal after the rehearsal. Okay. So we would be, rehearsing, and then I'd be like, hey guys, can we just go over like what all we learned today so that I can make sure that I got it.
Yeah.
And they were always so, willing to do it. And they've just been so amazing, and they've been so supportive. So I was glad that I had that as a part of the process.
Wow, I think that's great work ethic. That's a big
Oh,
word for me.
I
Work
mean,
ethic to be able to go in after.
the takeaway is how hard you've really worked to get where you are. You make it look so easy, and obviously you're born with a lot of talent to start at such a young age. Had a great
Thank
family
you.
that embraced
Yeah.
you, but you put in the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the biggest
Yeah.
thing, my aunt had a saying that she would tell me, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And so
Oh.
Wow.
that's another thing that I've just always taken with me is you can have the talent, but if there's someone that's working 10 times as hard as you, yeah, they're probably gonna get there before you get there.
Yeah.
Great
You have to,
advice.
yeah, you have to measure up
Yeah.
to whatever it is that you're bringing to the table.
My dad was a bodybuilder. One of the things he told me when he was, doing his getting ready for competition, and he would go to the gym and he would be there before everybody, and then he would watch everybody who come in that he was competing against work out and leave before him. And he said, if I stayed longer and worked harder longer than every single person that comes here, then I'll be the champion. And he did,
Yeah.
So I mean, that's exactly
Yeah,
how it was.
exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah, if
That's
you
exactly
stay in
it.
that gym longer than everybody else, then you're gonna be in there.
Yeah, it's gonna show.
I'm gonna say I was like, okay, I had tickets for the Tina musical, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I went by myself. I was like, I'm not gonna miss this. This is,
Yeah.
Yes.
And I go to watch, I go to watch, and I'm just like, I learned a lot, because I'm into all the performing arts and all the performance, and I watched how effortlessly you did it, and I'm like, how does she do that? So I was like, the whole time I was like,
Wow.
how is she
Thank
like
you,
your
guys.
lines,
Thank you
everything? It
so
was
much.
natural, it was real, it was
Yeah.
authentic, and I'm like, how does she be able to just make it all like real, and from the scene, and the transitions perfect, and I was like, sis perfected this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What was your
Thank you.
favorite piece of all the musical? You
Oh,
personally, just that every night you went, this is my favorite part.
Probably River Deep, Mountain High. Um, there's just something about that song, and I think also just where it falls in the musical. I think it's at such a pivotal moment. It's like the moment that Tina starts to realize that she can kind of be Tina Turner, like,
Yeah.
girl, you Tina Turner.
Yeah.
So, and I think for me, it's one of those moments where I just like not dilute myself to a singer, but I just stand on the stage and sing. So I'm like, this is my moment. I don't have to move. I don't have to do anything. I just can sing. So
Hope you're enjoying the podcast. I'm Dina Hollingfield.
Romeo Valentine, the host of Headliners Hawaii, and Dita, this place is amazing. I can't believe we're in the Hawaii Theater.
I got chicken skin just thinking about it. There's so many great shows, so many things to do here all year round at Hawaii Theater. We want you to come out and enjoy what we get to do all the time.
Yes, and you're not going to miss out, okay? So don't have FOMO. Get over to the Hawaii Theater, hawaiitheater.com. You got to get your tickets. Check out the calendar list throughout the year, every year, all the time. Now let's get back to the show.
Excited. The girl that played the young Tina Turner.
yes, Taylor.
Oh my God, Taylor.
Oh, she was good, yeah.
Holy moly's. So did you guys prep and bond together too? So you learned kind of a little bit about her and she learned about you and then you became one
Yes.
almost?
Yes. No, when Taylor came to us, I mean, she's just such a little cutie, and I just, took her under my wing, and
She's so
it's
lucky.
been amazing to watch her grow. I mean, both of the kids, it's just been amazing to watch them grow in this process. We've done interviews together and just like, sang together. And yeah, I mean, she is amazing. And she has a little Instagram, and I love watching all her little Instagram posts of her singing. And I'm just like,
It reminds
amazing.
you a little bit of you
yes,
too, right?
exactly,
How your journey.
exactly.
So you're right after our podcast this morning, you're gonna LA and grab your bags and you're leaving.
Yeah.
What's up? What's next for you?
Yeah, I am going to hold myself up in Idaho and make some music.
So what are you gonna Are you recording in Idaho? Are we gonna guess what you're doing in
We're
Idaho?
recording in Idaho. Yeah.
Nice. And then are you putting out a record?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Is it originals and all that?
Yeah. There will be original music.
Is it rock
Um,
music?
Well, we'll have to see.
Oh,
We'll have to see
I like
what's
it.
what's the
creative-
vibes.
yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I have never been able to just kind of like make music and put it out. And this, experience has given me like the tools to be able to do so. And yeah, I'm really excited. I am working with these brothers. They're amazing, Bennett and Jack Higgins. I've done like a few of my songs with them so far. And so yeah, we're looking forward to see what happens.
Well, we want to support you in Hawaii. So when this happens, you
Yes.
can lean back with all of us out here that have fallen in love with you, and we want to support you.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. It would
So
be
Hawaii,
my dream.
you were here for the Aulani trip. You were stressed, you were sick, and then you get to come back. You get to experience Boots and Beers. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
She got to be
At
with
the Bishop
She
Museum.
got to be with like the local, like
All the
it was a
cowboys.
local
Really?
event going on, but it was a country event. It was, and Dita was hosting.
Yeah, but what do you love the most about your experience in Hawaii? Tell us a little bit about what's your takeaway.
Oh gosh, there's so many things. I mean, it's really been so amazing. And I don't think I will ever be able to say thank you enough to
Aw.
the people of Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah, you all have just made my experience here amazing and spectacular. And I think it's the reason why our show and our run here was so great. I mean, everyone was just like so blessed to be here. And I think my favorite part was definitely the blessing that we received before we performed.
Yes, I
Um,
was. So I work at the Blaisdell too. So
Yeah.
I know the Kahu Cordell
Yes,
came.
yes.
And
Oh my God, that was amazing. And we've just never experienced anything like that at a theater.
Wow.
And it was beautiful to see that the people that we were performing for were just as excited, if not more, to see us perform. And that was, that's something that I'll never trade. So I really appreciate that.
Awesome.
Did you meet any cool people that came to your show? You're like, oh, shoot, this person came. I seen a lot of like people that were in movies, TV shows,
Yeah,
things like that were there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I can't remember her name, but she played in like so many different movies. She's like,
Was it Amy Hill?
yes, it was
She's
her.
going to be on our podcast.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
going to say, because I know Amy is a huge Broadway fan. And so isn't she fabulous?
When I saw her, I was like,
oh my
they were like,
God.
yeah, do you know? I was like, yeah, I've seen her before, like on 10 million different things.
Yeah.
Stephen Hill as well, who was
We
on
love
Magnum
Stephen
PI.
Hill, been on our podcast.
Yes.
I bet he loved you.
Yeah.
He's so wonderful.
So yeah, just a few. And then you, it's been an honor to meet you.
Good Lord. Thank you.
When they told me, I was like, heck yeah, I would
you're
love to do a podcast with you.
Thank
Like,
you so much. Well, so we're going to play a game.
A game?
Yeah,
Oh, I
we're
love
going to play a game,
games.
and there's no wrong answers.
Okay.
It's called either or neither. So
All
we're
right.
going to give you a couple local choices, and you're going to say you like one thing, either or or if you don't like either one, that's okay too.
Okay.
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 First,
I'm scared.
poke
right.
or sushi?
Either.
Oh, look at you. And how did you fall in love with both of those foods?
I love food.
Just
Put
period.
it on the plate and we're gonna
What
eat
is
it.
your favorite
Exactly.
food? What's
My
your
favorite
go-to?
food is street tacos.
Nice.
Carne asada, I could probably eat them for the rest of my life if I could eat nothing else.
Daily.
Street tacos.
Daily. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Excellent.
Okay, what about sneakers or heels?
Neither. I would go
Neither.
barefoot if I could.
Cowboy boots. No, just
Cowboy
kidding.
boots. Yeah, exactly.
Keep throwing it in there. All right. Very good. All right. So surfing or swimming?
Either. I love the
Really?
water. I'm like a fish.
Did you surf at all when you were here? Did you take any lessons?
No.
What?
No.
Okay, next time.
I have to. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to come back and I'm going to do more things.
That's excellent.
Let's see. Would you rather write your own song or cover a classic?
Either. Wow. Yeah. Either for sure. I love to write, but I love paying homage to classics.
Wow.
Waikiki or Aulani side?
Ooh. Waikiki.
Okay, that's good. Because
I don't know. I think it's like so central. Like as a person from the city too, it just feels like I love like walking down the street and there's like all kinds of like these different people everywhere and it's just
did
like
you go to Spam Jam or were you singing?
I did not go to Spam
Oh,
Jam.
man. Okay,
but
next time.
I had my own Spam Jam because me and Musubi was like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super good.
Was that like your day to day? What'd you do like when you woke up? You're like, I'm gonna go downstairs, hit up the or were you staying in Waikiki?
Yeah. So we stayed at the Aqua Palms, and I would like wake up. I would probably like walk a little bit somewhere, and then I would go grab me a musubi
Yeah, girl, you
That was your
living the
breakfast
local
ABC
life.
store.
That's actually been
Okay,
my
you are officially local.
yeah, that was my go-to after
That's
the
your breakfast
Yeah.
place is ABC stores. That you are totally local now.
or
Then I
7-Eleven.
would like get ready for the show. But yeah,
Oh, am I up next? Let's see. What about Sunset Beach walk or a hike?
neither. I hate walking.
You hate walking.
So do you like running then?
I actually do. I think
Really?
like running better. Yeah.
Did you run it all while you were here?
No. I
Ran
ran
through-
on
she's
the
like,
stage.
I
in
ran
my
through the
heels.
lines.
That was like you need to burn calories after the show. I saw you do.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely. So mine's a pivot of that a little bit. Sunrises or sunsets?
Definitely sunsets.
Oh,
I'm a night owl, you know.
oh, you are.
Yeah.
And then, do you like to go out at night or do you just chill at night?
Well, on show, like if I have a show the next day, I know myself. Like I go way too hard. I cannot go out. Like I'll be in the house getting FOMO.
There you are. Did you go? Okay, this would be like my dream. I'm at a karaoke Tuesday night, and then you walk in and you sing,
I know,
and
right?
we're like, "What is happening?"
I
Did you?
did
Did you?
accidentally find myself at
No
a
way.
I
karaoke
knew
bar
it. I knew
after
it.
Boots and Beers.
No way.
Because I just meeting you, I'm like, I know you went in there and just like ripped it. And people were like, what is happening?
I definitely sang Proud Mary.
No way.
Well,
Can
they
you
were
say
like,
where? I'm dying to.
it was
they even know who you were?
Wang Chunks, I think.
Wayne. Oh, God, I'm so sad right now. Why couldn't I have been there? Did people lose their minds?
Yeah, and then a few of them were like, "Hey, we're gonna come to the show," and they did.
Good.
They did.
And they're like, remember me?
Yeah,
I
no,
was at
literally.
karaoke night with you.
Yes.
See, that's
exactly.
so cool, though. I love that. I can tell just the way that you came and now you've made it so big, but you're so kind and regular just to everybody. Please
Yeah.
don't change that.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. I don't think my family will ever let me.
Yeah.
They never let my head get too big.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Your mom will remind you. She'll
Yeah,
make you drop and
exactly.
give her 20 if you're misbehaving.
Right.
So if I wanted to ask this that you've been at this for such a long time. If you can go, you now go back and tell 11-year-old you some type of advice, what would you have told yourself?
Oh wow. Wow, that's a very, very good question. I think I would tell myself to enjoy every moment
Mm.
because, there's always going to be your moments where you're so high. Like, there's always going to be those career highs that we have. There's always going to be those lows, just life lows, career lows. Everything, life is just a bunch of up and downs. So yeah, really enjoy every moment that is thrown your way.
Yeah.
Every opportunity is a blessed one. Yeah.
So this tour, your final curtain call, you told me offline that it's going to be in May. And so, are you taking lots of friendships and memories, and will you go back to Broadway if it's an opportunity?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, Broadway is definitely the goal for sure. But this opportunity has been something like more than a lifetime, for me. And I am going to be taking so many special friendships and relationships with me. And it's kind of like starting to set in just a little bit that it's like almost over, and it's really bittersweet,
Yeah.
because we've been on the road for so long and
How long have you been
we've
on
grown
the road?
really close. We've been together since August of last year.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I've just grown so close with so many people, but
See, I could see that at the final curtain call
yeah.
as you guys all come out. But the silly little things that I could see the
Yeah, that
insider
we
things
kind of picked
happening.
up.
And I just, because, I did theater in college. I mean, I just understand that space. And I just thought, what a gift for you that you have this, because you're a baby. You're just going to go out and slay it. And who knows, we're going to buy your albums. And do we do that anymore? We don't even buy albums.
Yeah, people
but-
buy albums.
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
yes.
I'll
Yeah.
buy it, but I just think that that you're going to be a big singer songwriter. Do Dreamgirls though rival for me someday? If you have a chance, just for me, will you please join the cast of Dreamgirls? Because you would
You know
kill it.
what's so funny? My friend is literally doing that right now. She was actually on my season of American Idol.
Really?
Naya, she
Oh, yeah.
is currently on it's a Dreamgirls concert in New York City. So yeah,
Anyway,
and she sounds phenomenal. I
As
would
you-
go
as
check
you-
it out. Yeah, but Yes, but I will do that for you. That is
Thank
also
you.
one of my dreams.
See how kind she is,
Actually, my dream is to have you sing on Boots and Beer stage.
I want you to sing heavy metal, some
Oh my
God, bring down the
God,
house.
that you guys do actually never want me to hear. You never want to hear me sing heavy metal. You never ever want to hear me sing heavy metal. I have so much respect for people that like do that because I've tried and like I just can't hack it. I can.
crazy.
I can. Oh my God, they're phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I don't know how you get there.
I know. I feel like that's like a natural thing that you have. Like you have to have some kind of like grit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just don't have that kind of grit. You know.
I don't
it's crazy.
agree. I heard you sing with a lot. Well, we're so happy that you literally stopped by on the way to the airport
Yeah.
to
Yes.
stop, drop,
Thank you
and
so
roll.
much for that.
No,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for having me.
And the wealth of knowledge and the advice and the experience that you're giving to all the people that are watching. Thank you for sewing into another person's dream out there that will be listening to every word you said, just like you did others. So thank you for today.
Thank you guys. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah. So how can we get connected? How can everybody connect with you? I know you. I got you on Instagram, of course.
Yes, yes.
Hey, wait.
Yeah.
I got to get in.
You can follow me at the Jayna Elise on everything. That's JaynaElise, the Jayna Elise. Come follow me.
Yeah. And can we have some followers? Because you have a lot.
Yeah,
Can you
can you share like 10% of
No,
your
actually, I
followers
just
with
reached
Romeo
100,000.
and I?
I just reached 100,000 followers on
Congrats.
Instagram.
Woo, let's go.
And I was like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Because it takes that was like a huge hump for me.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think I was ever gonna break that. I thought I was gonna
Wow.
be at 90,000 forever.
Forever.
But I made it.
Let's go. Let's go, girl.
Congratulations.
Thank
Okay, you can teach us how to make that happen. We're going to suck off
Yeah.
you.
I'm stuck at like 10% of that. No, I'm just- not even 10%. I've been stuck at it. Like I'm like, is this gonna
Put
go?
it out. Just put it out there. Put it out there and they'll
Content
come.
is king, though. That's
Yeah,
the trick.
exactly.
Yeah. See?
Hawaii appreciates you. Thank you
Oh.
for bringing your own aloha spirit to us. And
Yeah.
it's great to
Thank
be at the
you.
Hawaii Theater with you sitting on the
Yes.
stage. And we can't wait to see what's next. And we can't wait to see when you come back.
Yeah.
Thank you guys
And we
so
will be
much.
following your journey, and we're excited for everything that you got going on. And and if you haven't seen, and you got to catch her musical while she's doing it.
Yeah.
And you're not going to want to miss it, even if you go by yourself like myself.
Yes.
Don't miss it. I'm telling you, it's worth every second.
Yeah.
Every second. So thank you so much, Jayna. Appreciate
Thank you
for
guys.
coming by.
Thank you.
Yeah. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, give it up right now for Jayna Elise.